You, you made this allegation, but you don't want to say who they are? I mean, if you know who they are, you just don't want to tell us?
I think that's been explained by Mr. Curtis in
No,
his analysis.
I'm asking you to explain. You talk about tax cheats. I'm just asking you who they are, and you don't want to tell us?
It's again, I think it's for the IRS to enforce the line, and we need to make sure that the IRS is properly.
Well, do you have a list of these tax sheets?
No.
Okay. Have you been to the IRS and said, here are these companies and they're cheating on their taxes and I can show you how they're doing it?
No, I'm not. That's not I've never practiced in that area of law. I'm not a tax whistleblower lawyer.
All you've done is run around saying American companies are cheating on their taxes. I can't tell you who they are.
Look, every once in a while, Congress accidentally serves up a straight-up masterpiece. Today was one of those days. A full-on cinematic blowout where Senator John Kennedy came armed with facts, zero BS, and the energy of a guy who's been calling out crap since forever. While this Democrat-aligned witness showed up with big accusations and zero damn receipts, she claimed major U.S. corporations are straight-up cheating on their taxes. But when Kennedy calmly asked for names and proof, her whole story collapsed faster than a house of cards in a hurricane. This wasn't just questioning. It was a total truth-check demolition. A raw moment where political theater slammed into cold, hard accountability, and only one side showed up ready to rumble. Let's walk through this intense showdown step by step and see exactly how Kennedy turned her expert testimony into a pile of exposed, empty talking points in minutes. The hearing kicked off with the witness confidently alleging that big U.S. corporations are gaming the system. She threw around words like cheating and crossing the legal line like she owned the place. Let's dive in.
Do you believe that there are major American corporations that are cheating on their taxes?
I think yes, there are cases where the transfer pricing regulations are not being followed, and Mr. Curtis's testimony speaks to that.
Who are they? Who are the five? Name the five American corporations that are the biggest tax cheats.
Well, this is a question for the IRS. It's their job to enforce the laws. So I wouldn't.
But that's a pretty serious allegation you made there, and I'm just asking you who they are.
There are cases pending against a number of companies until those cases conclude. It's not.
Who do you think they are? You're an expert in this area. I'm just asking you. You talked a lot, and I've read some of your writings about American corporations cheating on their taxes. I'm just asking you who they are.
I wouldn't use the word cheating. I think that they are taking advantage of the gray zone.
You used it in your testimony.
I'm sorry?
You used it in your testimony. I'm not trying to trick you. I just want to know you have been very vociferous in saying that American companies are cheating. Okay, that's America. You're entitled to your opinion, but you're an expert, and just tell me who they are.
I stand by that. I think that there is evidence to suggest that some of these companies and the IRS has pursued cases against a number of the companies that Mr. Curtis has analyzed, including Apple and Microsoft and Facebook and
Is
Coca-Cola.
Apple a tax cheat?
I wouldn't say tax cheat. I think that's putting it too strongly, and I didn't use that word.
Then who are they?
I wouldn't say tax cheats, but I think they are crossing the legal lines that have been set by Congress and by the IRS in the relevant regulations. And because the IRS is outgunned, they're not able to enforce the law against them.
Let me start over. Do you believe that there are major American corporations cheating on their taxes?
I believe they are coming very close to crossing the line, and it's difficult for IRS that is outgunned to enforce the line.
Are they crossing the line or not?
Well, it's up to the IRS to enforce the line if they don't have the resources.
I'm asking you your opinion. You're an expert.
I think there's a good case to be made that, yes, they are crossing the line.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Who are they?
That's up to the courts and the IRS to determine.
You made this allegation, but you don't want to say who they are? If you know who they are, you just don't want to tell us?
I think that's been explained by Mr. Curtis in
No, I'm
his
asking
analysis.
you to explain. You talk about tax cheats. I'm just asking you who they are. And you don't want to tell us?
It's again, I think it's for the IRS to enforce the line, and we need to make sure that the IRS is properly.
Well, do you have a list of these tax sheets?
No.
Okay. Have you been to the IRS and said, here are these companies and they're cheating on their taxes and I can show you how they're doing it?
No, I'm not. That's not a. I've never practiced in that area of law. I'm not a tax whistleblower lawyer.
All you've done is run around saying that American companies are cheating on their taxes. I can't tell you who they are, and I haven't been to the IRS to show my data to the IRS, but I want you to believe me that they're cheating on their taxes. Is that your testimony today?
No, Senator, no.
Sure sounds like it.
I think that the case against some of these companies has been well documented in the
companies? Let me ask you
public.
because I'm gonna run out of
In
time.
those final moments of this tense as hell hearing, it all became crystal damn clear. Senator John Kennedy wasn't just firing tough questions. He was exposing a way bigger problem. He laid bare how too many so-called experts strut into Capitol Hill with sweeping, wild allegations but zero real evidence, dropping bombs in front of the cameras, then crumbling like cheap drywall when the heat's on. The witness kept hammering that major U.S. corporations were cheating on taxes. But when Kennedy asked her to name just five, she dodged like a pro. When he pressed if she'd handed this info to the IRS or built an actual case, she admitted flat out, nope. She tried backpedaling her language, walking back her own testimony, and shoving the proof burden onto somebody else, all while Kennedy pinned her down without mercy. And that's why his takedown in this hearing hit so hard. Kennedy didn't swallow the word games, didn't let her hide behind vague crap, bureaucratic excuses, or academic BS. He reminded everybody watching, making serious accusations without naming names or coughing up proof ain't courage. It's straight cowardice. It's political theater with no substance, no spine. In just minutes, Kennedy shredded her entire narrative piece by piece. His calm, relentless grilling exposed how hollow and flimsy her claims really were. And in doing so, he didn't just defend American corporations. He stood up for the core principle that accusations gotta be backed by cold facts, not feelings, not wild assumptions, not partisan agendas. This is what real oversight looks like: principled, laser precise, and unflinching as hell. Note, this exchange comes from an April 10, 2024, Senate Budget Committee hearing where Senator Kennedy repeatedly pressed witness Zorka Millen from the FACT Coalition, focused on corporate tax transparency, to name specific U.S. companies illegally evading taxes. Millen described aggressive tax avoidance strategies, but declined to name individual corporations, emphasizing systemic issues rather than specific illegal acts by named firms. Critics viewed her responses as evasive. Supporters saw them as protecting ongoing investigations and focusing on policy reform. If you believe America needs more leaders who talk straight, demand real evidence, and refuse to get snowed by empty rhetoric, then Senator Kennedy just delivered a masterclass in badassery. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video, because truth still matters, damn it. Hit that subscribe button and share this if you think Congress needs more straight shooters and fewer smoke and mirrors clowns.